Welcome to Part 1 of the B26 ORCA Control Room Monitor Video Manual. The B26 ORCA is an all-analog control room monitor designed for the ultimate monitoring experience. Built with Burl Audio's renowned discrete and Class A circuitry, the B26 ORCA lets you hear your mix without any added character or artifacts. The B26 was meticulously built to provide the best monitoring audio path possible, and was built with the same no-compromise design philosophy as every Burl Audio product. The B26 ORCA is completely transformerless, utilizing our proprietary Class A discrete op-amps for ultimate clarity. By maintaining an all Class A signal path, no integrated circuits or capacitors in the signal path, the B26 allows you to make decisions with confidence. It's like taking a sheet off your speakers. The B26 features two independent sections, a control room side and a studio side. This was especially designed to be able to listen to one mix in the control room while sending another mix to a headphone amplifier or playback in another room. In the box you will find your new B26 ORCA control room monitor, an IEC power cable, 4 rack screws and washers, along with this manual. B26 rear connections. Let's start with the rear connections of the B26, since this will explain the functionality of the unit. On the left, we have the IEC power inlet with a fuse plus one spare. The B26 uses a fuse slow blow, 250 volts AC, 250 milliamps, and 5 by 20 millimeters in dimension. For all inputs and outputs, excluding the mono talkback, left is on top and right is on the bottom as marked here. Let's start with the inputs first. There are 3 different mix inputs, Mix A, Mix B, and Mix C, followed by 2 2-track inputs, 2-track A and 2-track B. All 5 inputs are identical plus 4 dBu analog line level. These inputs have an amazing headroom and can handle signals up to plus 30 dBu. The RCA inputs are minus 10 dB for consumer level inputs. Common uses for the RCA input would be a stereo, computer, phone, or another consumer product. The mono talkback input connects to an external microphone for talkback, which is sent to the studio monitor side only. Talkback does not send to the control room side. Now let's take a look at the output section of the B26. The B26 has a pair of meter outputs to feed external meters. We use a pair of Duro 40As. The studio outputs are for the studio side of the B26. All inputs can be selected on the studio monitor side, independent from the control room side. Next, we have 2 sets of speaker outputs, Speaker A and Speaker B. These are both controlled by the control room monitor. Now I'd like to take you through the features of the B26 ORCA. Let's start with the control room side. At the center of the B26 is an audiophile 0.1% resistor matched 24-stepped attenuator. Sweeping resistor potentiometers can vary drastically between left and right, especially at low volumes. With the resistor matched stepped attenuator, the balance between left and right is the same at every level. Input select. There are 6 buttons for each input: Mix A, Mix B, Mix C, 2-track A, 2-track B, and RCA. The inputs are non-canceling, so more than one input can be active at one time. Speaker outputs. Next we have 2 speaker outputs, Speaker A and Speaker B. Speaker A is generally connected to the main monitors, and Speaker B is generally connected to near-field monitors. Mono select. With mono engaged, left and right are combined so that you can check your mixes for phase coherency. Meter select. This toggles the meter outputs between the control room side, when disengaged, and the studio side when engaged. Left and right LEDs. The left and right LEDs show input level for your selected input source. To make sure you are getting a true representation of your mix, you don't want to hit the B26 too hard. For this reason, we recommend using a pair of external analog meters for the most accuracy. Control room phones. The control room phone's output is a balanced 1/4-inch output, which follows the stepped attenuator. This is what you should use when checking your mixes on headphones, so the image is consistent at all levels. The control room phone's output is more accurate than the studio phone's output since it follows the resistor match stepped attenuator. Studio monitor side. Now let's take a look at the studio monitor side of the B26 ORCA. All 6 inputs are also available on the studio monitor side. Studio monitor attenuator. The studio monitor attenuator controls the overall studio output, which can be connected to a headphone amplifier or a PA in the live room. Studio phones. The 1/4-inch jack follows studio output, and the studio phone's level allows you to set headphone level independent of studio monitor level. Talkback. The latching talkback button requires an external mic, connected via XLR to the rear of the unit. There is no internal talkback mic in the B26. Talkback level is controlled by the talkback attenuator. The talkback input is optimized for a Shure SM58. Thank you for watching. If you have any further questions, please visit burlaudio.com or email info@burlaudio.com.